Hi, friends. Are you ready for Chapter 5 of Midnight on the Moon, written by Mary Pope Osborne? This is number 8 of our Magic Treehouse series, and we're on Chapter 5. It's called Hang On. If you remember back to Chapter 4, in Chapter 4, Jack and Annie found that moon buggy, and Annie started driving it. I can't wait to hear what happens next. Annie drove the moon buggy over bumps and hollows. It bucked like a bronco. I'm going through here. She pointed to an opening between two mountains. Jack held onto the dashboard. The buggy bumped toward the opening and shot through. On the other side, the ground was even rockier. Look for the fourth M thing, said Annie, bouncing up and down. Can you bounce up and down like they might be on the moon buggy? Yeah. Jack groaned. Looking for anything on this wild ride was impossible. Slow down, he said. How? Try pressing the brake pedal on the floor slowly. Annie pressed on the brake and the buggy slowed down. Jack sighed with relief. The ride was still bumpy, but now at least he could take a good look at the moon. He had never been to such a colorless, barren place. No color and empty. There was no green, no blue, no red. No water, no trees, no clouds, only giant gray rocks and craters. And an American flag. Oh man, said Jack. That's from the... Oh wait, I want to go back. I'm sorry, I didn't show you the picture. So there's an American flag. Do you see it? There they are on the moon buggy. So there's an American flag. It says, oh man, said Jack. That's from the first astronauts who landed on the moon. And look, a telescope, said Annie. She drove near the flag and telescope. Then she put her foot on the brake until the buggy stopped. She pressed the button that said OFF. What's that say? Off. Then she and Jack hopped out. They took slow, giant steps to the side of the first moon landing. Beside the flag was a sign. Here, men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon, July 1969. We came in peace for all mankind. That's a good message, said Jack, and he handed the moon book to Annie. Then he took out his notebook and pencil to copy the sign. Let's give our own message, said Annie. What should we say, said Jack. The same thing, said Annie, but say we are the first kids. Jack turned to a new page in his notebook. In big letters, he wrote their message. Now we have to sign it, Annie said. Jack signed his name. Then he passed the notebook and pencil to Annie. She signed her name and passed the notebook back. Jack tore out the piece of paper and he put it by the flag. It says, today the first kids from the planet Earth came to the moon. We came in peace for all children, Jack and Annie. No wind would ever blow the message away. No rain would ever fall on it. It would be there forever, unless someone moved it. Thinking of forever made Jack feel dizzy. He shook his head to clear his thoughts. Then he remembered the time. Then he remembered the time, like what time it was. Had 2 hours passed yet? I wish I had a watch, he said, standing up. We might be running out of time. Do you remember what they might be running out of time for? Yeah, their tanks, their oxygen in their tanks so they can breathe on the moon. Oh, wow! A moon man, said Annie. What? Jack turned to look at her. She was staring through a telescope. Jack walked over to the telescope. Annie stepped aside so he could look too. Jack gasped. In the distance, something was flying above the ground. It looked like a giant man in a spacesuit. Oh my goodness, what do you think that is? And that's the end of chapter 5. I'll see you next time for chapter 6. It's called High Jump.